Okay, so I promise this is the final Spitfire that we've got to show you. This is one of the original three, the Mark 19s that started with the flight way back in 1957. Now there's something a little bit different about this one to all the other Spitfires that we have here, not just the paint job that it's got, but this is not a fighter as all the other Spitfires here are. This is a photographic reconnaissance version of the Spitfire. Now in order to fly photographic reconnaissance, you've got to go a long way sometimes, because sometimes you need to go very deep into an enemy territory to get your photographs and then get back home. So they had to modify the aeroplane in order to be able to do this. So of course they modified the aircraft to put cameras in it. It carries 3 cameras, two mounted underneath the fuselage. If you bend down that far you might be able to see them. I'm not going to try. Those 2 cameras look straight down, slightly apart from each other, but the photographs that they take actually overlap down the centre line of the aeroplane, so there's no gaps in the coverage. There's a 3rd camera which is mounted behind the cockpit, and that's for the low level use. So there's a camera mounted in there which looks out to the side of the aeroplane, and that's if you want to get a really good close-up look at something like a radar installation, something like that. So, the other modifications that they made in order to give this aircraft the range that it needed was to strip out all the weapons and all the ammunition, and they replaced that with fuel. So one of these airplanes flies in about 6 hours, so that was long enough to get them as far as they needed to go, get the photographs and then get back home again. Now, pilots got a little bit of a problem because photographic reconnaissance was always flown by a single aeroplane. So you're up there, all by yourself, no guns, no weapons. How do you get away with it? Well, these aeroplanes got away with it because they flew very high and they flew very fast. In fact, one of these aircraft, the Mark 19 Spitfire, still holds the unofficial world record for height in a piston-engined aeroplane, and that's 51,500 feet. Most modern jet airliners run about 40,000 feet. So well above that sort of height. Operationally, the aircraft would probably have flown around about 40,000 feet. At that height, it's above the effective height of German anti-aircraft fire. It's also above the height of German fighters. And even if they could have got that high, they couldn't have matched it for speed. Certainly not until their jets came into service. So most of the time it's able to keep itself out of harm's way. But of course sometimes if there's any cloud about, then they may need to get down below that cloud cover in order to get their photographs. And also, if they're flying on one of these low-level missions, to use that little camera behind the cockpit, you have to come down very low. So on those occasions, you're going to be prone to attack by the enemy, certainly from anti-aircraft fire. So if I've been flying a low-level one, as soon as I got the photographs, up as high as I could, as fast as I could. Now, unlike in a fighter aeroplane, you've got a gun sight to aim the camera. In these, you haven't got a sight at all. The only way that you actually accurately take a photograph of something is if you're flying at high level, you'll see the target in front of you, so you fly directly towards it, and you start your camera going before you get there. Not a moving camera, it's a still camera. But each photograph it takes overlaps the previous one, so again, no gaps in the coverage. So hopefully when you get back home and you're having a nice quiet cup of tea, the people developing the photographs are getting a nice stream of photos, and hopefully somewhere in that stream will be the target that you want to photograph. Now, all of this is very important work. Each time a target was selected to be attacked, they would take some photographs of it, and once an attack had taken place, they would send aeroplanes out again to assess how much damage had been caused by the attack. So sometimes it can be dangerous, because if you're going to come down below that cloud cover, the Germans know that you're coming back. So they're going to be waiting for you. So you're left to be very, very careful. Also, other important sorts of work that these aeroplanes would have done would be if people in the intelligence services got wind of something that the Germans were up to, and they knew the area where they were getting up to it, then they would say, we want some photographs of this area. So send the aircraft out and take some photographs and see if we can wrinkle anything out. And this is one of the ways that we discovered what the Germans were up to with the B weapons, the B1s and B2s. Intelligence services have got wind that the Germans were up to something, a research station on the Baltic coast called Peenemünde. So aeroplanes such as this went out to Peenemünde to get some photographs of what they were up to. And when they, on one of these operations, when the aircraft came back, they were looking at the photograph. Very, very small objects in the photographs. You can imagine stop flying up at 40,000 feet. Things aren't going to be too big on the photographs that you get. So they see this little small cross sitting on the ground. And that turned out to be one of the V1s that they were working on. So we had some sort of early indication of what they were getting up to with the V1s. So very important work. Now this particular one is actually painted up as an aircraft in the post-war period. It's marked up as an aircraft of number 81 Squadron that was flying out of Kai Tak in Hong Kong. And this was in 1952 at the time of the Korean War. And they flew a number of clandestine missions over China because China was assisting the North Koreans in their offensive against the South. So we flew these clandestine missions to try and get some idea of what the Chinese were up to. So this aircraft would have been one of those that were involved in those sorts of things. The way it's marked up at the moment, it's marked up as an aircraft that was flown by a pilot with the name of Flight Lieutenant Ted Powell, and he was the man who managed to get up to this height of 51,500 feet. On one of these operations out over the Chinese mainland on the way back, he inched up and up and up, and he eventually got to 51,500 feet. That was an unofficial record because there was nobody on the ground sort of measuring everything, but when he got back from the instrumentation on the aircraft, they can work out how high it had got to. So that's why it's an unofficial record, not an official record. But really these sorts of operations, they were really operating at the extreme limits of the Spitfire's abilities. On a number of occasions, aircraft came back from these operations over the Chinese mainland, and as they were taxiing up to their parking spot, the engine coughed, spluttered and died through lack of fuel. So really quite dangerous sometimes coming back from these operations with bare minimum of fuel. So that's the last of all the fighter aeroplanes. On the next one.